kept fumbling around with words and like why I don't have like a proper video that I wanted because I didn't finish it, yada yada, boring. You do not care. Here we have my anime list. I've never really been on this site before. I lied, I frequent it here and there. Don't really know much about it though. I do know that they have a top rated section. So I'm looking at the 50 top rated manga on this website and reacting to whether I agree, disagree, or absolutely hate where things are placed. This is mostly going to be a popularity contest. I kind of expect it, but I'm excited to check it out regardless. Now here's the top 50. Kind of surprising. I don't really know anything in here. That's a lie. I know a couple. Blue Period at 47. That's interesting. I'm surprised this is here. It feels relatively high. I'm glad that it's here. I just didn't think a lot of people vibed with it because it's pretty full on. It's a pretty big slow burn and something that you have to really be into, but once you start to enjoy it, it's very well thought out. There's some bits and pieces that is a little bit weird, but overall I think it's a really good story and a lot of people like it, especially if it has an anime. I believe so. I'm actually drawn to 49. Didn't this come out this year? How many chapters has this got? Like 5? 7? Less than 10? That's impressive. I mean, you have 8 parts behind it. I expect it to be popular, but good work. Haven't seen that, haven't seen that, haven't seen that. Oshino Ko at 43. This is currently getting an anime. I like the manga. I think the anime is very well received. I'm surprised it's this low. I thought it'd be closer to like the 30s, maybe 20s, just because of its recent influx of fans, but this is pretty respectful. Dorohedoro at 42. I've always wanted to read this, never had the chance just because it's super long, but one day, I promise you, one day I will, and I will make a video on it because I'm always interested when I see it. It's like the artistry behind it, the setting, the characters, it's like completely up my alley. Akira at 41 impresses me, but it's iconic, like it is. The anime is iconic. Maybe that's why it's here, but I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about the manga in my life. I've read the manga. It's really good. I guess that popularity from the iconic anime and that setting and what that transpired to be for the future of anime and manga is reflected here for the manga rating as well. So should it be that low then? Probably not. So now we're going into the 40s to 30s and things start to get a little bit more picky here. Beck, I've read a little bit of Beck. I haven't finished it, so I can't really speak on that. I don't even know why I'm mentioning it. Death Note at 37 is shocking because every time I see this anywhere, it's usually top of the list, like at least anywhere between, no lower than 20 because it's super iconic. The manga's well received, the anime is well received. I believe the only thing people don't like is the second half of the story, Personally, wasn't the biggest fan, but still very much revolutionary, I guess. 36 is Girls on Tour, I believe is the English title. Never read it. Looks super fascinating though. The fact that it's over Death Note is kind of crazy, but I've only heard great things about it, like phenomenal things. One day I will read it, I swear. I think it has an anime as well, so Goodbye Area at 35. Very impressive. This is a singular volume, a short story, Tatsuki Fujimoto, the whole works. Recent popularity of Fujimoto most likely helped this, but overall the story is just phenomenal. Such a great read, so incredibly thought-provoking and just has a bunch of value to it. I'd actually be happy if it was a lot higher, because right above it at 34, The Climber isn't that well known. I don't see a lot of people talking about this story. The people I do see obviously love it because it's a really enjoyable read, very thought-provoking but very slow. That's kind of the point. It's very introspective, working on yourself, finding out who you are. It's fun, it's beautifully drawn, like the artistry behind it, like look at all this stuff. Delicious. Hajime no Ippo at 33, I will never read this story. That's a lie. One day I will, but it is so long. Doesn't it have like 1,300 chapters? I don't know if I could deal with that. I don't even know what to say. Like 1,300 chapters is a lot of story. Like One Piece is a lot of story, but this whole different ballpark. In that sense, it's very revolutionary and impactful. I'm sure it's got a very beautiful journey-like story of a boxer. If you're gonna have that many chapters, I'd hope so. One day, potentially, I will crack that. But for now, it's staying very far away because mentally I am not prepared to do that. Mushishi at 32, don't really know all too much about. I think it's historical, so it has a lot of that cultural impact, Japanese history and lore and textbooks and all of that stuff. So philosophy, I don't know if that's probably wrong, but I just remember seeing something that's very philosophical. Correct me if I'm wrong. 32, respectable place. Now basically everything from here is going to be contested in one way or another because look at the increments. We're going from 0.75 to 0.77 to 0.78. It's minuscule. Hunter x Hunter at 31 seems kind of criminal. If the top 10 has either One Piece or Naruto in it, I would think Hunter x Hunter would also be closer to there. 31? That's pretty wild. Maybe because there hasn't been much for it other than the chapters. Like the fan base is loyal, don't get me wrong. Like I enjoy Hunter x Hunter, I love it, but the core fan base eat it up. So it should be higher, in my opinion. One Punch Man at 30, I'm not too mad about that. I enjoy One Punch Man, don't really have much to say about it. It's just a fun story, very beautifully drawn. I actually enjoy Mob Psycho a little bit more. Controversial, maybe? No? Chainsaw Man at 29, I can't even talk about because I'm biased because I love Chainsaw Man, but should it be that high? Should it be higher than Goodbye Eri? That's the real question. Where's Kaizen on this list? Is it above this or is it in like the 50 to 100 range, you know? If we're really going on like this 20% writing, 80% popularity, I believe it. Made in Abyss at 28 feels odd. I think there's arguments to make it both ways. Beautiful story, super tragic, probably make you cry, probably freak you out, because you don't really expect it. It's very deceiving in that regard. Oh, very cute, very quirky, and then it's just death and trauma and anxiety and all of this emotional overload that does not hold back. Jarring is the word to use, but very well done. I'd easily have it higher. Some of you might put it lower. This might be controversial. Nana at 26 feels criminal as well. This should be higher. Nana is kind of revolutionary. I feel like a lot of people start here when they're getting into shoujo or slice of life or something that feels a lot more intimate. It's just incredible and a must read for people that are interested. Maybe it's here probably because it never really finished. What is this? 1982? Why is this here? Haiku at 21. People are not going to be happy with. That should probably be higher. But from here, 20 to 10, probably a lot of the best stuff is about to come out. Like I'm looking up and I'm seeing some pretty big hitters. So Haiku is just that story. You know, you want sports? Yeah, there's Kuroko no Basket. Yeah, there's Hajime no Ippo. But Haiku, you're going to fall in love with that one quickly. A Silent Voice at 20. Very surprising. Not really, actually, that I think about it, because the movie was extremely well received. Even though the movie cut out a ton of important contextual narrative points, because I imagine that's where a lot of the popularity has boosted it from. The manga is beautiful, very touching, very well written, something that I believe a lot of people should read if they ever get the chance and are of course interested, so go read it if you haven't. Suigatsu no Lion at 19 seems a little criminal. This is also one of those stories that you just have to read and experience. No one can really tell you about it all too much. I mean, people can, let's be honest, but it's just better if you experience it yourself. So around the top 15, we have some classics: GTO, Real, Ashita no Joe. I'm surprised Ashita is higher than Hajime no Ippo by like a lot. And I feel like I see more people talk about Hajime no Ippo, so maybe the fan base is at war, maybe they're shared, I don't know. But it's great to see kind of the oldies in here, still going strong. Obviously, they're very well respected, but the fans are probably happy with its placement. Kaguya at 16 in between them, however, that's great to see. That's two of the author's works, Oshinoko and Kaguya-sama, within the top 50. So you're doing something right. I really love Kaguya-sama. I think it's a very well thought out story, knows what it wants to do and does it how it wants to. You can feel that within how the author approaches characters and how they express their emotions. So it feels very familiar to what you might have read before, but expanded upon in a way that feels rather unique and just a fun time overall, let's be honest. Now here we are, almost at the top 10, 20th Century Boys at 13. I'm happy with it. I love 20th Century Boys. I can take that position. I honestly surprised that it's this high up. I thought it'd be a lot lower, but clearly there's a lot of fans for it. Hoseki no Kuni at 12, however, love that. That story, I don't even know how to put it. Like, it's very difficult to get into because it takes its time building everything, but once you're in, you are in. I promise you that. There is so much to learn from that story. Such a beautiful depiction of characters and mental health and identity, and just incredibly well handled. It's extremely artsy as well. The vision behind it is super unique. Kingdom at 11. Not surprised this is here. I actually thought it'd be a little bit higher, but I'm happy with its choice. Kingdom is just an all-time classic, iconic, still going strong weekly manga. Don't know how that's possible with the level of artistry that goes into it, but I'm more than impressed. And here is the official start line of the top 10. Oyasumi Punpun. Do not like this being here. I thought it'd be much higher because right above it is Grand Blue. What is this ranking? I've heard of Grand Blue, but is it better than Oyasumi Punpun? Well, actually, hold on. To be fair, Punpun does not have an anime. hate to think about that getting an anime just because it'd either be really bad or so good that it mentally scars you for the rest of your life. So pick your poison. Grand Blue fans, I'm sorry if I offended you. I've never watched it. I may never watch it in my life, but you're above one of the greats. So Vinland Saga at 8, super happy with. Vinland Saga is phenomenal. If you haven't read it, please do. You will have a great time with it. Don't just think it's some warring Viking story. It becomes super introspective, super personal, and the tale of Thorfinn as a character is just so incredibly told. Number 7, Full Metal Alchemist. Not necessarily surprising. Number 6, Slam Dunk. A little bit surprising, but it's also very popular, so maybe not. And the top 5 that are within the thumbnail: Monster, One Piece, Vagabond, JoJo Part 7, and Berserk at number 1. I've never read Part 7. Actually, just never read JoJo, so one day I will. We'll most likely make videos on all parts. That sounds like a long journey, a lot of chapters, but it'll be an experience nonetheless. I always hear great things about it. Monster at 5 seems kind of right at home, but also a little bit criminal, but then when you think about the top contenders, it kind of makes sense. Like, realistically, you could change the places of all of these and still be happy with the outcome. So Monster, I'm cool with. One Piece, very iconic, long running. I expect it to always be within the top 10 somewhere. I fell off One Piece around like chapter 800, 900, around Whole Cake, that might be 700, I do not remember. But yeah, it's a great time. Vagabond, also a similar thing. Expect it within the top 5, top 10. It's like a part of that most popular seinen package, alongside Berserk and Pun Pun and Monster, etc. Can't say anything about Part 7, but I hear people gas up Steel Ball Run all the time, so you're number 2. I'm sure you're happy about that one. And obviously, last but not least, Berserk, number 1. Kentaro Miura, iconic, paved the way for a lot of different stories. It's so incredibly depicted, and rest in peace the king. Overall, I'd say I'm pretty happy with the top 50. Like, yeah, there's a lot of things I'd change, but it's more of a popularity contest. No one's really in here trying to be some Michelin star writing judge. It's just what's popular, what's well received, what's really enjoyable and has good writing and artwork behind it. It's like a mixed combination of a lot of things. If you ever were stuck on what to read next when it comes to manga, this is kind of a decent place to start. Just kind of go through the list and find something that piques your interest, and you'll probably have a really good time with it. But I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your top 5, your top 10, your top 50 if you dare. Don't stress yourself out with that one. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. It supports me a ton, and I greatly appreciate it.